God, I'm so sick and tired of watching YouTube videos where it's just like, here's something that I could have showed you that took like a minute, but then I yapped for 8 minutes because I needed to get that mid-roll ad on YouTube. Hey everyone, if you saw my last video, you know we had a pretty somber discussion about why Roblox's Grow a Garden felt like it was dying. We talked about the brutal pay to win, the game-breaking bug, the never-ending grind, and honestly, it felt like the game was spiraling downwards with little hope in sight. But then, something unexpected happened. Jandel, the developer of Grow a Garden, actually took to Discord this evening and addressed a lot of these very issues. Frankly, his message provides a crucial new perspective and perhaps maybe a glimmer of hope. He admitted fault, spoke about his own creative struggles, and even hinted at upcoming fixes. Jandel said, "We have temporarily disabled pet gifting due to a dupe exploit. It will be back soon. We are fixing it right now." So if you guys weren't aware, people found another way to dupe inside of Grow a Garden. The method, this is not a tutorial, it's just an FYI. What people were doing, if you have played back since the summer harvest event, what was going on was people would plant 2,000 tomatoes, the same trick that I showed you guys how to do to get the maximum points in the summer harvest event. They would plant 2,000 tomatoes and then they would trade a pet with their friend. When the trade was happening, they would start picking these tomatoes. The person that sent the pet would leave and join a public server. And then when the game loaded back in, both accounts would have the pet. Because of the glitch, this allowed the pet to be duplicated due to server lag. That is what they're currently fixing, and if you didn't know already, pet trading has been disabled once again. Additionally, what Jandel said was, "Kitsune, 0.08% chance, we won't do this again. No excuses, my bad for this. I wasn't respecting the community. Repetitive events, the honest answer to this is I have no good ideas for events. I have been doing new events now for 3 months. Maybe I'm creatively drained, but if you want to suggest cool event ideas, I read the starboard every day for ideas. Trading, that is coming next week." So Jandel has admitted that, he's running out of ideas, and it could be expected because he's been doing a new update every single week. And so I think besides just creator burnout and not having, the creative juices to come up with something every single week, he's starting to feel like we do with the update whiplash. We haven't had enough time to actually enjoy an update because we're rushing to try to complete it before the next one pops up. Same with cosmetics, same with pets. Like, we're trying to get everything we can with limited inventory space before the next event drops. And honestly, the whiplash it hurt. So, additionally, he said that trading is coming next week. While safe trading should help avoid scams from people saying, "Oh, you have to go first," or "You have to go first." If you're familiar with the Adopt Me trading system, you have to go through a whole process to where you confirm you understand how the trading works. You understand that people might not be honest, and so to check the items that they're going to trade with you. But additionally, it lets you see what you're giving and what they're giving and then confirm it before the trade goes through. A lot of people right now, and this is the first time I've gone in a public server in a really long time, a lot of people are trying to scam. Like, they're doing everything they can to steal what they can before this trading update comes out. They are trying to get whatever they can for free out of a dang online Roblox game, whether they're screwing kids over, adults, teenagers, it doesn't matter. They don't care. They want what they can get for free as fast as they can before they're unable to do it again. Do not think this is going to stop the paying to steal fruits. That's not going to change that much at all. They still have the ability to steal for 37 Robux, and that's still going to be a problem. So that's not addressing that issue in any way, shape, or form. It's only going to help with the scamming as far as trading pets for fruit and stuff like that. So as far as Jandel's updates go, that's huge. His honesty about the Kitsune chance and admitting the "my bad" for not respecting the community, it's a significant statement. It suggests that he's listening, but what about the repetitive events and the creative drain? And most importantly, what about the impact that these problems have already had on all of us, the players, and the track record of past promises that haven't quite materialized yet? I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but at the same time, I don't want to give people false hope. And I also don't want to sit here and yap for 8 minutes to get mid-roll ads on your screen. I just want to tell you guys what's actually going on. I'm going to try to dissect Jandel's message. We're going to offer some tangible solutions and tips and ideas that could honestly help the Grow a Garden game not just survive, but thrive again. Because while the developer burnout thing is real and I completely understand it, apologies are welcome, but consistent action is what counts. So again, actions speak louder than words. If you make promises and keep them, great. It means you're sincere about the way that you feel. If you make promises to keep stringing people along and don't actually deliver on them, that becomes a bigger problem. So let's start with the infamous .08 Kitsune chance. Jandel directly said, "No excuses, my bad, I wasn't respecting the community." The apology is a vital step because it validates what we have all been feeling. For those of you that watched the last video where I talked about every issue that I thought was killing Grow a Garden, the gacha system feels less fun of a game mechanic and more like a casino for kids. It's relentlessly pushing us, the players, often younger kids, to spend endless Robux on near impossible odds. So kids that have Robux or their parents have got them a premium subscription, they have Robux and, they could be using it to spend on avatar like accessories or clothing or hair. But instead they think, oh, okay, I have a better chance if I purchase this, not completely understanding the odds. And yeah, the argument's there that a parent should be responsible for how their kid is spending Robux and there are systems in place for that. But come on, it's a game. Like, kids aren't going to think all that out. Like, it's not something you should think, hey, is this worth my while at 5 years old or whatever? But we're supposed to be having fun. We're not supposed to be sitting here doing math and calculating statistical odds on stuff. Hardcore gamers, okay, it's a little different. But the problem that this has caused is eroded player trust. It's made the game feel like a blatant pay-to-win nightmare, and it's created an insurmountable barrier for free-to-play players. So for the people that don't want to spend money, it's caused a wall to where, you can only progress as far as the events and stuff let you. It's fundamentally shifted how the game's core loop and fun farming has changed to desperate gambling. And it wasn't just a feeling, we saw the undeniable proof. Consider dedicated creators like Lana's Life, who openly shared a frustration after spending easily over $200 on eggs and egg hatch boosts, yet never acquired the Kitsune pet. And then the massive YouTuber Mienyu reportedly poured over 100,000 Robux into trying to get the pet, only to come up empty-handed. If you think about that, YouTubers and people with star codes or star codes in the past, since they don't exist anymore, if those YouTubers with significant resources at their disposal can't even get on top of the pet in an event, what hope do regular free play players have of grinding it out or even spending a reasonable amount on a good day? It makes the grind feel utterly pointless and the monetization strategy completely predatory. While the apologies noted, the real test will be to see if the "we don't do this again" becomes a consistent practice. Here's my suggestions on how you can fix these things. Transparency and consistency. Jandel's honesty is a good start. If he continues to be transparent about drop rates, but more importantly, ensure that all future monetization is consistently fair and respect player time and money, and not just have this be a one-off apology. If he rethinks the gacha mechanics, move away from the extreme low percentage gachas for core progression items, like implement a guaranteed reward after a certain number of rolls, or better yet, make truly rare pets obtainable through dedicated skill-based gameplay, not just pure luck that demands significant Robux spending. True value for money. If a player chooses to spend Robux, they need to feel like they're getting tangible, worthwhile value, not just a lottery ticket that leads to nothing but disappointment. Now, onto the elephant in the garden, repetitive events, and Jandel's admission of creative burnout. He said, "I have no good ideas for events. I've been doing new events now for 3 months. Maybe I'm creatively drained." This is a completely understandable challenge for any game developer, especially for a small team running a live service game. Creative burnout is real, and it absolutely affects output and quality of that output. However, this burnout has directly translated into a significant problem for the rest of us, the players. We've experienced whiplash from how fast these events keep changing. Every 7 days, it's a new theme, new cosmetic, new plants. We're constantly rushing to keep up, forcing us to change our gardens, our outfits, and frankly, we don't even have the inventory space because pets and cosmetics keep filling up the space that we have. So you either spend more money for 5 extra slots, or you just don't have the inventory space, so you lose limited edition items that you had in order to try to get something new. And you don't even know what those new items are going to be half the time because you can't open crates until you have the space to store the inventory. It turns what should be a fun progression into a stressful chore, and it's a frustration that's been building for months. So, solution for the events and burnout: if you have longer, deeper event cycles instead of rigid weekly events, suggest events that last 2 to 3 weeks or even a full month. But for Jandel and the team, give yourselves more time to design a truly unique, less repetitive mechanic. Iron out the bugs before the release and allow for much needed, creative breathing room. It's a lot coming out with an update every single week. It significantly reduces the relentless pressure, and it could help with the burnout. For players, it gives us less pressure to grind, more time to complete and enjoy the content, ample space to experiment with the cosmetics we want to keep or the ones that we're happy to get rid of, and a significant reduction in the crippling inventory crunch by not forcing us to throw away old favorites so quickly. For community-driven event ideas, Jandel mentioned reading the Starboard for ideas, so let's make this official and consistently action. Implement a dedicated event suggestion channel in the Discord, actively monitored by developers. Players can submit and upvote ideas. This not only directly solves Jandel's no good ideas problem by tapping into millions of creative minds of people that actually play the game for fun, but it also makes the community feel truly part of the game's development. It fosters a deeper engagement and loyalty with the players, us. Maybe even a monthly community poll to vote on the next event theme, ensuring players' voices are heard and then acted upon. Quality over quantity. We'd rather have fewer, more polished, and truly unique events than a constant stream of rushed hollow ones with meaningless, repetitive tasks. Give us engaging objectives, like not just robotic clicks that feel like a chore. The relentless pace of new content, often fueled by developer burnout, frequently leads to critical issues. We've all experienced it, from items mysteriously disappearing from our inventory to plants turning into rat tails on our plots. These glitches destroy our progress, and it destroys the enjoyment. When the core game isn't stable, all the new content in the world means nothing. The problem here is a perceived lack of consistent quality assurance through testing, leading to repeated frustration. Players get intensely frustrated, lose trust in the game's reliability, and ultimately quit. For Jandel and his team, it means constantly chasing emergency fixes and battling a negative reputation. While Jandel mentioned fixing the dupe exploit, this is a symptom of a larger ongoing issue with stability. My solution for stability and player contribution is prioritize bug fixes and dedicated testing. Suggest a strategic shift in focus from churning out constant new content to thorough testing of updates. Implement short public test realms even if you have to. Periods of internal QA before you have a major release. Jandel's benefit there would be a more stable game, more chance to test things with fewer emergency fixes, less negative feedback, and ultimately, it builds long-term player trust by constantly delivering a smooth experience. For players, it's going to reduce our frustration from lost items, improve overall gameplay, and makes the grind feel less meaningless. If progress isn't wiped by bugs, we need to see this consistently. Reward your glitch finders. If you leverage the power of the massive player base, create a formal, transparent system to acknowledge and reward players who find and report significant, reproducible bugs and exploits. Ideas for rewards, special in-game titles like Bug Hunter, QA Master, unique cosmetic items, small amounts of Robux if appropriate, or even a public Bug Hunter leaderboard that gives a way to make them feel like they're being rewarded for helping you fix the game. This effectively turns millions of players into a highly motivated free QA team, identifying critical issues faster and fostering immense goodwill. For players, it'll motivate us to report bugs properly instead of exploiting them to benefit from them ourselves. It makes us feel appreciated for our input and contribution to the game. Finally, let's address two critical quality of life issues that plague the daily player experience. The inventory crisis is absolutely real. With new events churning out unique pets and cosmetics every single week, our inventory is constantly overflowing. We're forced to make agonizing choices between keeping beloved old items and enjoying exciting new ones. It creates a sense of scarcity where there shouldn't be one. And speaking of new content, Jandel also mentioned that trading is coming next week. This is something players have been asking for forever, but it also comes with a serious warning. Scammers will be out in full force. In Roblox and really any game with trading, the introduction of a new system often brings out bad actors. These scammers will be trying to squeeze every last ounce out of people's trust before solid, secure systems are fully in place. They'll happily try to screw you over in a digital game that, in the grand scheme of things, might not matter, but they'll absolutely sell their soul for those virtual gains. This is why the temporary disabling of pet gifting due to a dupe exploit mentioned by Jandel is so critical. It shows us that the vulnerabilities that scammers will try to exploit. Given past issues and unfulfilled promises, we need to be extra vigilant with the trading system, and it needs to be flawless from day one. But for inventory and storage, if you offer us more affordable, accessible ways to expand our inventory space, perhaps a separate cosmetic locker system for outfitting our gardens with the cosmetics, or pet stables to manage growing pet collections without them taking up main inventory slots. Secure trading system. When trading launches, it has to be robust with multiple clear confirmation screens, built-in anti-scamming measures, and immediate strict consequences for those caught exploiting or scamming. Addressing the dupe exploit thoroughly before trading fully goes live is absolutely non-negotiable. Players need to feel safe and confident when they trade. Our trust has been tested before. Don't trust our tests. Don't test our trust anymore. We're tired. We're so tired. For players, just be extra cautious. If a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. This isn't just an issue for Jandel to fix. You got to use common sense. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad who's been scammed. But now that you've been told a trading system is for sure coming by the developer himself, risking a trade and going first, knowing a system is coming to prevent being scammed, it will be your own fault. It's impatience, and you've got to be patient. Like, if it is that valuable to you, you can wait. Don't risk losing things that you've worked really hard for or gotten lucky just because you want to be impatient. Use common sense, trade with a middleman if need be, but ultimately just wait. Just be patient. Jandel's recent message ultimately gives us something that we haven't had in a long time from Grow Garden, a potential path to recovery. Admitting fault for the Kitsune, acknowledging creative burnout, and hinting at upcoming fixes like secure trading. These are all vital first steps, but it's important to remember that words are just words until they're acted upon. We, the community, are still waiting to see consistent action. Creative burnout is incredibly tough, and game development is immensely challenging, especially on a live service game like this. But Grow Garden has an immense, passionate community that desperately wants to see it succeed. By extending event cycles, truly embracing community ideas, rewarding bug hunters, and consistently prioritizing core stability and player comfort, Jandel and his team could genuinely transform this game from a source of frustration back into a thriving, fun experience that it once was. But the ball's in their court now. This isn't just about demanding fixes, it's about offering a practical blueprint for how Grow a Garden can truly become awesome again. It's about empowering the community to be part of the solution, making us feel like we're contributing to something we love instead of just constantly playing catch up all the time. What do you think of Jandel's message? Are you skeptical, hopeful, both? What specific solutions do you have that could help Grow a Garden recover and thrive? Let me know in the comments. If you found these suggestions helpful and want to see Grow a Garden get back on track, press the like button, share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I love discussing stuff about games, how they can improve, things that they're failing on, and things that we love. So stay in touch for more Roblox content, deep dives, and essential gaming discussions. Love you, bye.